So, Minister, are you excited?
Always excited when you get to go into a national park.
And where are we going?
Going to see where the Wollemi Pines grow.
And why is it such a secret?
Because these are ancient plants that exist nowhere else on Earth in just this tiny little place.
We're on our way to see something few have ever seen. Strapped in and sworn to secrecy, we must never reveal the exact location of where we're about to go. Past the city and into the wilderness, we fly over the dense canopies and steep cliffs. Descending deep into the Blue Mountains to see a living fossil, the Wollemi Pine. A tree that thrived 91 million years ago, back when dinosaurs roamed these forests. We've just landed. We've grabbed our backpacks. We're about to spray methylated spirits on our boots, and then we're going to head off on a 45-minute to an hour walk to see these Wollemi Pines.
Kamin, assume the position.
This solution of methylated spirits is used to kill any diseases or pathogens unintentionally brought to the site, and it's used a lot. What does the dinosaur tree smell like?
Methylated spirit.
Everything smells like that.
The journey on foot begins. Slowly, we make progress through the thick bush.
We're probably about 50 metres off entering the rainforest part, and then we'll just sort of be scrambling through the creek and picking our way down the boulders.
The further we walk, the more secluded it becomes. The difficulty getting there is immense.
So guys, we're getting really close to the site now. Keep your eyes peeled and see if you can spot the first Wollemi Pine saplings.
Finally, small fern-like trees start to appear speckled through the rainforest. This is a translocation site and was established in 2019.
A translocation site is somewhere where we introduce a threatened species into another location in an area in order to kind of provide an insurance population.
Are we going to turn it upside down?
We can augment that population to help it survive into the future and minimise the risk of extinction. They're signs of hope.
And then just gently pack soil around it on all sides, and then we'll...
I feel like Costa.
There are more than 300 Wollemi pines here, ranging from 30 centimetres to 2 metres tall.
Wollemi pine seedlings and saplings grow less than 1 centimetre a year. They won't mature until they can reach the rainforest canopy and access the sunlight above, and that's usually about 20 or 30 metres, so you do the maths, that's many, many decades.
They may be lacking in size, but hold great importance for the survival of the species.
This plant is 91 million years old, and we hope that it lives for another 91 million years. And it's, a very short period of time that we're on this earth, we've got custodianship, and that's what we're doing to make sure that it exists into the future.
There are still many unknowns when it comes to the Wollemi pine. It was thought to have gone extinct around 2 million years ago, until a chance discovery by Dave Noble, an off-duty park ranger in 1994.
He saw an unusual looking tree. He grabbed a sample off the tree and took it back home with him to the Blue Mountains, and he showed it to a botanist, a guy called Wyn Jones, who went, "Gee, that's pretty unusual. Looks like it could be a new species."
The National Parks and Wildlife team only inspect the trees at the original site on a needs basis to minimise human interaction. Some have grown to 40 metres tall.
It's been described as the botanical find of the century, and the fact that such a small population just remained in this incredibly remote canyon in Wollemi National Park is pretty remarkable.
We're at a translocation site because the original grove is strictly off limits. There are less than 90 trees remaining there and only about half of them are fully grown. What's even more concerning is Phytophthora, a pathogen also known as root rot, has infected some of the grove, putting the trees at even more risk.
We think the pathogen was introduced by an unauthorised visitor. I understand why many people would like to visit the wild site, and most people do think that they can do that safely without having an impact, and it's just not the case. Phytophthora is microscopic, you can't see it with the naked eye, and it just takes 1 grain of infected soil to be introduced into a site, and that's it. There's currently no cure.
There's 2 biggest threats to this plant. One is human-induced, and that's people coming and visiting it when they shouldn't, and the other is climate change.
In 2019, bushfires wiped out almost all of the pines at the translocation sites, forcing the team to replant hundreds of new trees. But they managed to save most of the original grove.
It could have been a very different outcome, yeah. So, you know, we have worked hard to keep fire out of the pine sites, and we have to work even harder into the future. There's something that can't be replaced. You think about the uniqueness of this tree. They're treasures because they are, and they existed.
What's at stake is a species that outlived the dinosaurs. Total height is 65 centimetres. Since the species was discovered, you know, in the nick of time, on the brink of extinction, we have a really rare and important opportunity here to intervene and help it persist, and I think that's what drives everybody. It's much bigger than us.